everybody. How's it going? First of all, thank you so much for watching Chasing Nostalgia. We're here and we're live right now, and I had no budget left, so we couldn't do a counter. So that's why we had to do the the basic counter. We blew the budget on Chasing Nostalgia. No, just kidding. But so we got myself, we have Arcade Hollywood, we've got Mason, and I think Todd is here.
He just definitely dipped out for a second. I assume he'll be back, of course.
I can add him back in. We'll see. I don't know if he was having some technical difficulties or not. Let's see. You there?
We're here.
All right. Oh. We got Todd and Frank. How's it going, guys?
What's up, everybody?
I brought Franklin.
I know they're excited that Frank's here. I feel like
oh my God.
I
think we've got a special it says unblock me. Why are you blocking my accounts? We know who that.
I think we know who that is. So I feel like first of all, I want to thank everybody here because this was probably the most fun I've had in a really long time. I don't know what you guys think, but I was just the fact that we were all in the same place. We got to go to Galloping Ghost. We did so many fun things. We had dinner. Todd bought us dinner.
Thank you for that again, Todd.
Yeah.
By the way.
No, that was great. You got to.
Todd bought dinner because we couldn't afford to buy his dinner.
No.
Okay. So what do you guys think? I mean, I was my first Pinball Expo. I don't even own a pinball machine yet, but I
soon.
I know, I can't help it. It was so fun. I just pinball is a blast. I just never really oh wait, hold on. Carrie Hardy says the late night romance or bromance.
Oh, Carrie.
My Carrie. That's my Carrie.
Carrie, I'm telling you, Carrie's the man. We had so much fun. Carrie was a huge part of this whole thing.
Yeah. What do you guys think? So what was like the highlight of the event? If you had to pick like one thing, I'll go with Todd and Frank first. Like, what would have been your highlight of the event overall?
Well, I think we should consider two events.
True.
I think the Pinball Expo is one event, and Galloping Ghosts is the other. So at the Pinball Expo, I don't know. What do you think is your highlight?
The best time, and this goes for every show, every expo, is when we're all hanging out. Whether we're playing games, we're having some drinks, a combination of different things, that is what makes Expo the best. Hanging out with old friends and making new ones. That's the best part of it. That's the only part that matters.
We hung out in the lobby until 2, 3, 4, and sometimes 5 in the morning.
I was sleeping.
You were awake till 5 in the morning?
He was. I the latest I stayed up.
I'd climb into bed at 5 and be back up at 9 because I didn't want to miss anything. I was exhausted.
We had a lot of fun.
I couldn't do that because Arcade Hollywood was knocking on the door. We had joining rooms at about 6 a.m. telling me to get up. We got stuff to do. So he was
housekeeping. Wake up.
He was.
I like. No, go ahead. I have something to say.
No, go ahead, Mason.
I was going to say, I think it's funny you talk about that. When it was Sunday morning, I woke up to making dirt bike noises in our hotel room.
Me? I didn't do that.
No, it was 7 a.m. You're like, do you not remember that?
I don't do that. He's talking.
Oh, no. You're totally lying right now. You totally are lying. That literally happened.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
You can sit in your lie. It's
So
fine.
Todd, what do you think? What was your favorite part? But if you separate the two events.
Well, I mean, Doc Mack and his arcade is just fabulous. It's amazing. The 360 machine, which I didn't venture to try, but Mason got on it and didn't utter a word.
No, I didn't.
Not one word. We think he was busy shitting. But I don't know. No, Mason was quiet. We were expecting a scream.
Yeah.
And he also was the only one that didn't push the escape button.
Well, actually,
London, because he was the only one to land.
no, yeah, I was.
I think something happened when John was riding it. Do you remember it was making that goofy noise?
I missed out on that.
Yeah.
It's Halloween.
He finished though, Todd. John finished the whole thing. So did Carrie. So did Mason. Me and Ralph tapped out.
I think it's only a 3-minute ride, right?
90 seconds.
11.
Yeah.
Isn't it? 11 minutes.
11?
No.
11
No,
minutes.
it's 90 seconds. No, it's 90 seconds. Yeah,
Sure.
I had to. I felt like I was all right. So I was joking with Doc in the beginning and said he doesn't want me throwing up in his R360, and he looked at me and he goes, "No, I really don't." And then I got nervous. I'm like, well, maybe I you know, you psych yourself out. I was like, I might throw up in this thing. And when it was upside down one of the times, it started not to feel right. So I hit the button, and then I look over, and Todd's got a camera in my face while I'm hanging upside down. So you must have that footage, because I was upside down and I saw you.
You'll see it tomorrow night. You'll see it tomorrow night.
Yeah, that was an experience, that's for sure. I'm not good at, ever since I turned about, I'm 42 now, but when I turned about 30, I could no longer do roller coasters anymore. I don't know what happened. Like, I can't handle that motion. So it wasn't easy for me to do. And Jeff, you said you're not really a big roller coaster guy, so
I just got a little bit. I got out of control. I moved the flight stick, and I could not level out, and I just had to tap out. I had to tap out.
I didn't even realize everybody was kind of like, not mocking, of course. Everybody was just poking fun at the fact that I was so quiet. But like, I never scream on roller coasters anyway, so I think I forgot to tell everybody that. So when I was quiet, I wasn't listening at all to anybody. I was trying to win, you know. But that was just fun. I got out. I was editing, and I'm like, they really said all this stuff? Like, it's funny.
It's not a normal reaction, though.
I know it's not. I know. I'm just weird.
Princess.
What was that, Todd?
No, Timmy put in the comment chat, he turned into a princess.
That's probably me. He's probably talking about me.
Well, I didn't ride it because I knew my system would not accept that ride. Plus, I couldn't fit in it. The harness would never lower over me or him.
Testing.
What's wrong?
My
Jeff?
cat turned my microphone off.
Oh, well, that happens all the time.
Needs
Cats
to
do
be
that.
destroyed.
No,
Just like
Todd,
Everett.
no, Todd.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what we had a super chat from
quick,
Stringer
you
Films,
guys,
but I'm not sure what he's talking
Thanks,
about.
Springer.
I know.
Springer Films is very nice. Thank you for donating the money.
Real quick in chat, we got Retro Pug. My good friend Scott was supposed to be at Expo. He had some stuff going on. He would have been part of this big party, but he is literally out there in the chat. So a little thumbs up to Scott, Retro Pug.
I don't see him in the chat.
He's in there. I saw him in there.
Oh, I
there
see.
he is.
Said,
Retro
yeah,
Pug.
okay.
Yo.
It just popped up. I think there's a little delay.
There's a little delay. Well,
So
Ralph,
did
real
you-
quick.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things was the fact that I got a great chance to bring a bunch of great people in the hobby together. That was my goal. And I've been a part of Expo for a little while. So it was definitely, I talked to Rob Burke for a long time about all this stuff. So he knew what was going on, and he made some really great things happen. And then it was great to have everybody there. I knew Todd was coming. I knew Frank was coming, the twins. And it was a huge plus to have Carrie Hardy join us. That was a very cool, and Jillian. And I'm telling you, it was it was such a great weekend. The film doesn't do it justice, really.
I think. Oh, actually, someone's asking if it's cold where you are, Arcade Hollywood, because of
It is very cold. It's 32 degrees here in the Buckeye State, and I got it. The heat's on in here, but I'm chilly.
I think you bring up a good point, Jeff. So one thing that, and I've gone to several of these shows, but never a pinball focused show. And I'd say, I don't know, the pinball community was just super excited and full of energy. And I was just excited the whole time. It was crazy to experience a show from a different perspective. And Rob Burke, who's been putting it on for so long, I love the whole concept around the original idea of why he started it. It was to kind of pay respects to the designers who at the time weren't really getting the accolades. It was more the owners and the, you know, the presidents of these bigger companies. So I thought that was really cool. The other thing I thought that was neat and kind of scary was that Todd and Frank did a seminar on kind of buying a pinball machine, and which was, you guys had a lot of humor in that, but you opened up my eyes to, there's so many other things you need to look for when it comes to pinball machines versus, like, let's say just an arcade machine. So that was cool.
Yeah. Have you seen the footage of the two Mystic, the one that's covered in mold? It looks like it should. We've had people. I wasn't kidding when I said people have brought games like that to us, hoping we can fix them. And trying to, people.
The Star Trek 35th anniversary was a rust bucket.
Yeah. There's things that people don't know to look for. We'll either tell you to stay away from the game or say, oh, hey, maybe this would be a good game to grab. So we wanted to make people aware of that because, like I said before, that for us that go to these shows all the time, we don't think about it. But what about the people that, oh, hey, there's a pinball show, and then they figure, oh, I can actually have one of these in my house. Let me go buy one. Well, what do I do? How do I go buy it? And hopefully, it would help people buy, because we obviously need to keep new blood into keeping the hobby alive. So we just wanted to kind of nudge that along a little bit.
And on Frank's note, I have their full seminar I've actually edited in their slides and their videos. So for anybody out there, I will have that out there so you can see it. It's a great presentation. So I will have that available too. I'm going to actually send it to Todd and Frank so they can do what they want with it.
Cool.
So we were cut short. We had to edit it down. So at the Pintastic show this coming weekend, we'll have the full show. So it was longer originally.
I meant to ask Todd this question during the interview that we had. I can't believe that anyone would bounce Todd and I off the stage, especially Todd. I was like, do they not know? I looked at Todd. I was like, do they not know who you are? Like, they were trying to kick us out. And I'm going,
you mean off the Stern stage?
We got no respect on that stage. But no, I'm kidding.
Aaron Stern hates me.
But I was going to ask Todd this question, and I think this will be a good one for you and Frank to jointly answer. I was going to ask, like, what's the craziest situation where you've delivered a game, whether it be like a celebrity or some kind of sporting event? Like, is there something that sticks in your mind as the most insane game delivery you've ever done, whether it be the person you delivered it to or the place you delivered it to?
Wow, that's
well,
funny.
we delivered a bunch of games to Biz Marquee.
The rapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, he had them all over the house.
I don't know.
I didn't do the delivery, but the boys said he had them on different floors, and he said the place was full of people. He was entertaining everybody. Kurt, did you do the Biz Marquee delivery?
Yes, it was horrible.
It was horrible.
There was a guy that came in.
4 flights up, shag rug on every
It's
step.
on the screen.
Shag rug on every step.
Kurt.
Hi, guys.
Curdy.
What's up, Kurt?
And all Atari games. So it was Tempest, Asteroid,
The heaviest
Centipede,
ones.
the heaviest game.
And Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal
Oh,
Kombat.
gosh.
He bought a bunch of games.
And he was on the second floor laying on his bed, relaxing.
naked.
Ew.
Ralph,
So-
your audience, Ralph, is wanting to know, Carrie is wanting to know what pinball you picked out. Carrie, just put that in chat.
That's a good question. That's a good question, Carrie. So I was trying to order a shoot, like I can't think of it right now. I'm like literally spacing out. Deadpool. I was trying to order a Deadpool Pro, and I just found out that they're back ordered till sometime in April or something like that.
I can make a call tomorrow. Let me see.
Oh.
Todd's got the hookup for you.
Wait, hold on. Wait, why am I not asking you, Todd? What the hell am I doing?
Oh, you should
Well,
be.
I've got a bunch of new Sterns coming in Sunday, but I thought there was there one more Deadpool Pro? It's a Pro, I
don't
think.
remember. I don't think
I can find out. I'll call tomorrow. I got a bunch of games coming in tomorrow. Sunday. He's delivering them Sunday. My God, I got to come in here after church. But that's coming.
Okay,
So,
okay, I'm definitely going to ask. We'll have to talk offline on that. So there was a question here that says, am I missing this acronym? How do you guys feel about MGC?
It's a Midwest Gaming Classic. It was
Midwest
literally
Gaming Classic.
Oh, I
the
don't know that
weekend
one.
after. We didn't get to go to that. All the shows are great. I just that one we didn't make it to.
Thanks, Killer, for the donation.
Yeah, thank you for the donation. Okay, so there's Killer Arcade Games says, I gotta go, but I'll watch the replay. Great episode. Consider this a small down payment on the Killer Instinct. So I have a Killer Instinct that I'm restoring, which is 90% done, and he's gonna buy that one. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So Todd, you're saying you and I need to talk. That you might have a Deadpool.
Absolutely. Now listen, I think right
we know
now.
people that might be able to hook
Well,
them
I'm
up.
going to find out if there's still one in the box. I need to address Unblock Me. I think we need to do this once and for all.
Oh my God, you're right.
So permit me to.
Yeah.
We call the mouse Everett because we want him dead. Dead. You're not dead.
And Everett, everyone knows you love Todd. Please stop messaging me.
Don't
Please,
fuck us anymore.
please stop bugging me.
I love Todd too. I
How is that?
if you stare into your Alexa long enough, you can see into Todd's house. You just stare at the Alexa like really hard. All right, that was weird. Okay, I'm looking for any other questions. I don't know. I guess people are shy tonight. I don't know why.
I feel like these kind of just turn into more of hangout sessions than like actual like.
I know. I
questions,
really
you
always
know?
want people to ask things.
Does
but
anyone have
they
any
don't.
questions for like? I know the 360 there's got to be questions about that 360 film.
There has to be.
Shoot, because it was so much fun that the footage doesn't even cover it. Like literally, Todd's channel and my channel and Carrie's channel actually has a lot of extended footage of the 360. So I
So
plan
Killer
on
Arcade
putting the
Games
full
has a question.
edit. Yeah. Oh, who does?
He wants to know what Todd's favorite game is.
I've always mentioned it before. My favorite video game, none of you have ever played. I have, I think, the only existing one left in the world. It's a Sega 1979 game, beautiful color, called Digger. Digger. It's an interactive game where two people play on the screen at the same time to try to kill the crabs. It's terrific, and it's an amazing game, and they made only a handful of them, and that was the end of it. And I bought mine brand new, and I still have it.
You had a video on your channel, and was it like Fox News or Fox Sports that came in and filmed it, and you talk about that game in that video. That's a very well produced video.
Yeah, I didn't do it. That's why it's well produced.
Yours are good too, Todd.
Ralph,
Old software, folks. Old software.
Ralph, Mason, Todd, and Frank. We cannot leave the twins out. They actually filmed a lot of this too. So
That's right.
We
My
cannot
two
forget
boys.
Timmy and Tommy. I'm telling you, they filmed a lot too. So I apologize for cutting in, but Timmy and Tommy, please check out their channel. They're amazing.
Their channel is Twins Arcade. And all you have to do is hit the subscribe button because they are going all over the place. They're going to a lot of arcades I've never been to. And they're filming what's inside and interacting with the people and the owners of and for instance, they have one coming up with Jeremy. They did a video there at the Prince Arcade. Frank has a channel too.
I think I'll have now 3 videos.
What's your
Yeah, you have 3 now.
We're leaving.
Actually, the Frank's channel is in the link in the. If you watch Chasing Nostalgia episode 3, all of the creators featured are actually below, and Frank, you're in there as well.
Thank you, sir. Why?
Plus, I want to definitely call out the Princess Jillian. Check her channel out, and also check out Carrie Hardy's channel.
Wait, make sure you check out that Twins Arcade. Smash that like button, or they're going to come through the screen and whoop your ass.
They're so good. Timmy and Tommy are the coolest dude. They're the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
And they
They're the
picked
nicest
you up and
guys.
carried you too, Ralph.
Yeah,
That was my idea.
That didn't feel amazing, by the way. I was getting my whole body was kind of getting flexed, so my spine didn't feel amazing after, but it was worth it for the
You
for
have
the
no
shot.
idea how strong those boys are.
I felt like a rag doll, to be honest.
Okay, everybody in chat, take a look at Mason here. Take a look at Mason's face right now. That's how he looked during the dinner when we were all talking our arcade nerd stuff. Mason had this like look on his face.
Well, okay, so this is I'm still getting my feet wet, Jeff. You got to remember that.
We know that.
I mean, over time though, this was very fun. I was glad to be able to get my feet wet more with everybody here. I think, Ralph, I never really answered the question earlier about my favorite part of this. Like, it was kind of just meeting everybody, but like, I just love being at things, like, especially with you, you know. Don't give me that face, you know. So it's like, we always just have fun. So like, to have a lot more people there was really cool. But,
Yeah, I think this was. I didn't really answer it myself. I think this was probably the most exciting one just because it was all new people, you know, but people I knew, but only through video. Like, I only knew Frank and Todd through watching them, you know, so I never saw them in person. And that was kind of wild for me because I've been watching them for so many years. So that was really cool. It was just awesome. And then I'm asking Frank, of course, I corner Frank to ask him baby Pac-Man questions. I'm like, how do I fix this? And how do I fix that? And then I realized, so that was cool.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I do.
Cold solder joints, leaky capacitors, rebuild the power supply. You got to go someplace.
Brittle wiring harnesses too on those. Jeez, I've had to replace like 4 or 5 of them.
Really?
So,
Yeah, like a lot of Frank, the wiring harnesses are there. We got to rekey them.
Oh, the connectors. No, well, not
Yeah,
the parts
maybe
themselves,
back
the
then.
ends.
Yeah.
You got to read those little 100 pins, the .100
That's
pins.
a-
You got to repin.
well,
But that's
that-
any Bally game.
Yeah, but that's if the battery leaks.
No, well, a lot of those connectors get corroded.
You guys, wait, you know what I've discovered with mine? When the door opens, you can see it over here on this side, back here. When the door opens, I found that those wires get brittle just from opening the door. There's the powers right there. That's a huge problem right there. So I rekeyed it, and I actually put the new pins on the board too, so that actually saved it
Yeah, that'll solve
because it was getting the right power.
So there was a question by Dreamcast Kyle, and this is really more for Doc than anyone else. But he says, does Doc plan to put the R360 on the floor with an attendant? I think I asked him that when we were there, and he said that's not a possibility. It's going to be one of those kind of invite only sort of things. But that was definitely a really cool thing that we all got to experience. That's for sure. And then I didn't realize that there's the R360Z, which was for that Terminator. What's it
Terminator,
called?
Human Alliance.
Not Terminator.
No.
Transformers Human
Yeah.
Alliance. I've never seen one of those, but that looks like a modern, newer version. And two people can sit in that, which is totally crazy.
People or me?
What's that?
How do you
So Todd, this one's for you.
in there?
Paul says, how do you expect to address the CRT shortages in the future?
There's never going to be one. First of all, one of the last things in office Donald Trump did is he allowed picture tubes to be remanufactured in the United States. It was illegal in 2004. You couldn't make picture tubes. But Trump said, if you want to make picture tubes in the United States, you go right ahead. So they can make them. So
Was
they
it
just
because
have
of, are they trying to figure out how to eliminate lead from them or something?
Yeah,
Is that what?
the phosphors and things like that. But it was turning down a whole market because the only place they make picture tubes is in China, and those monitors suck.
So do you expect that we might see the remanufacturing of
When there's a
CRTs again?
demand,
Maybe.
there's not a demand right now. I don't think there's so many picture tubes out there. There really are, and when we throw away, we recycle the ones with the burn in. But I probably have. I bought a whole pallet of picture tubes, brand new picture tubes that were never used for the Wells Garners. I got a whole pallet full with the yolks on them.
We got a guy here in Columbus that actually buys the old. They're not old. They're gambling machines when they started switching them out to LCDs, and they had the Wells Garner. So we were actually
Beautiful Wells
getting,
Garners.
Yeah, we were getting a bunch of 19-inch arcade monitors from.
And they're the
gambling
late
machines.
model ones. They have that crisp, clear picture.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great deal. Poker
Okay.
machines, newer poker machines.
And then
See 'em
there's a
for
lot
sale
of,
in the marketplace. Buy them.
and also Todd, there's a lot of Vision Pros and a lot of Best Techs floating out there that are really good too.
The
I know you got to do what you got to do, right, Ralph?
thrift
Ralph?
shop, you find like a
Wells
19-inch
Garners.
TV. Get the tube. Get it for
I'm
the
with
tube.
you.
So Arcade Alex has a question, but I think this was kind of like to piggyback the part of the interview toward the end. He said, if Arcade One never existed, do you think the hobby would be where it is right now?
Hell yes.
I think it would.
It would.
I think it helped, but I don't think it like rebirthed the whole thing.
We
I
are
think pandemic and lockdowns is what really caused it to explode because people are home, so they were buying games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of collectors out there that aren't social, though. I know of 20 collectors in Columbus, Ohio, that do not do social stuff. So they're out there in force. You just don't see them.
that's true. But I've had customers come in today. A guy came in and he said he doesn't want. He's seen and played the little ones. He wants a real Miss Pac-Man. He doesn't want an arcade one-up. And restored. It's $21.99, but all the artwork would be a real, genuine 40-year-old Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Doesn't want the $500 version.
Stringer Films said, I'm guessing this where I'm a little behind on the chats. He said, I played that game in college. I itched for a month. I think that must be
That's
the
Digger.
R36. Oh,
No. That's Digger.
that's what he's talking about?
Digger is the crabs. The crabs are.
Oh, I get the joke. Okay. He's always doing these clever jokes, and I'm not smart enough to catch on to him. So, okay. What was that, Todd?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. The Rexer Show has a question. He said, what's a better pinball? Jurassic Park Premium, Mando Premium, or Deadpool Premium?
Deadpool Pro.
JP Premium, the Jurassic Park Premium.
But then again, I don't know. I think Godzilla even blows that out of the water.
I like the Jurassic Park Premium the best out of those three. But I would pick Deadpool Pro over all those.
Why not?
Okay.
I like the Pro better. The Pro just plays better. It's faster.
Really?
I think so. That's just my opinion. It's just one person's opinion.
Carrie wants to know how many games do each of you own, arcade or pinball?
Oh,
Mason, 0?
Actually, no. So Todd, did I show you the picture in my old room? I had a serial number for Mario Bros, and then I sold it. That's it.
Do you have a picture? Can you flash us a picture?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick.
Yeah, grab a
So this is back for context. This is back whenever I was doing YouTube. I have a big Mario collection, so it's going to be in the picture. But I have the arcade in the middle.
Well, while you're pulling that up, I don't even know. There's 8 in this room, and there's about another 8 in the garage.
I think you told me like 26.
And
right?
there's
23?
there's 2 in storage right now. So what's that? 16,
18.
20.
So it's an 8 and 8 and 2.
Yeah, 18. So that's 18, and then I think that's it. I think I have 18 right now. 18 arcade games.
The princess is calling me out. She says that my opinion about Deadpool Pro is wrong. The princess has spoken. The princess has spoken.
Let's see your thing.
Yeah. So forgive me for the crappy case for the phone.
You see it?
I love
I
that.
do. It's what's the red dot in the front? The big
That's a
is that?
chair.
Oh, okay.
Is that some
It's
kind
like a
of
bar stool.
or something?
Yeah, I couldn't quite. Yeah.
The question for Carrie Hardy is, Carrie, how many games do you have?
Well, so Jeff, what's your current count?
70.
Jeez.
Well, wait. Let me pan up a little bit. As the audience can see, I've got 2 banks of video games, and then I've got about 8 pinball machines. I just did a restore yesterday. I did a restore on my Attack from Mars, thanks to Todd and Frank. They sent me a DMD display that restores my Attack from Mars, and I did a Comet LED kit on it, and it looks really cool.
By the way, I do have nice dot matrix displays for $75 each. So if any of you need any, plus shipping. So if any of you need a nice, bright, clear, nothing wrong with it dot matrix, I'm the lowest price on frigging planet Earth.
I have a few that I'll sell for $60 each.
Frank. Well,
So anyway, I think we already did this one, but they were saying Papa Brad's Gaming was saying he likes Jurassic Park the most on that list, and he wanted to know if anyone else has an opinion on that. Because Jeff, you said Jurassic Park too, or did you say Godzilla?
I got to tell you, Carrie and the twins and I played Godzilla. I really like Godzilla over
nice.
Jurassic Park, but I really like, it's close. I really like Jurassic Park Premium a lot, but the Godzilla is really, really good. I was impressed. There's a lot of greatness going on with the Godzilla. If you got to play the premium version though.
Stringer Films, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Do not read this super chat." Thank you for the
Whoops.
donation. Appreciate
Somebody
that.
following instructions.
All right, let's see. I'm a little behind on the chat.
Tom made a good. Tom, the twin Tom, said that Doc Mac every Monday night releases a new game into the arcade. So think about that. Every Monday he will bring in a new. That's 52 different games a year.
How does he have room for that?
He's got a lot of room.
Like, is he gonna just keep making more though? Eventually, he's gonna run out.
No, he'll add. That's very expensive.
That whole back room, like when you played in the main area.
Oh, that's true.
That was only half, not even half the size it is now. This was 2 years ago. They were just building onto that. So that's
Yeah.
Ralph, raise my hand.
Interesting.
Ralph, Carrie Hardy says he really, I know Carrie talked about this to everybody. He chose a Cactus Canyon. Cactus Canyon is fantastic. The new Cactus Canyon, the remake.
I actually didn't get a chance to play that when I was there.
It's really,
It was
really
just-
good.
Which is disappointing.
And it's underpriced. It really is under pressure.
It's a great game. Yeah, I played it. I love that one. That's really cool.
Also,
So-
Eric in the chat right now was asking what Doc's count is right now. At the time of filming, for the record, it was 845.
Right.
Yep. Raiders on the Storm says, Todd, does your Polybius game still move all over your warehouse all on its own?
It does. I think the guys are doing it on me, but it seems to move around the warehouse. I come over and I said, where the hell is it? And it's in a different spot. So
Todd, I have seen, did Angry Video Game Nerd use your Polybius for his video?
yes, he saw the original video we made, and he lives nearby. And
Okay.
said, I'd like to do a video on your game. And he came over. It was over 2 days filming. And he made a friggin' ass terrific 21
It was really good, yeah.
He originally released it in bits and pieces, and then he got tons of views on the single episodes, and he kind of a cliffhanger ending, and then he edited the whole thing together into a 21-minute episode, and the ending was my idea.
Oh, that's cool. If you guys haven't seen it, I don't want to give it away. Go to Angry Video Game Nerds YouTube channel and look up Polybius, and you'll see it. It's pretty cool. It's a good video. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it.
After he left, I emailed him. I said, let me film something at the end and see if you want to put it in at the end, and he did. So it's got a great ending.
Yeah, I agree. So Big D Retro said, can you give us more info on that Predator pinball machine? I only know what Doc told me, so I don't know if there's anything additional that you guys know about it.
I know that the man that made it said he had the rights to it, but he didn't. And he was given, I guess, a cease and desist. But see, technically, if you're not going to make it, commercially, you can do anything you want.
Right.
Like what everybody was doing with their pinballs. But, he was doing, using a licensed product, but he wasn't making 5 of them. But somebody said he had pre-sold like 10 of them or something. And then that's when you get into legal problems. So I think he exited the picture at that point. He just made the one. There were others. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was at one of the shows. Some of my old Expo videos, I show a lot of homebrew pinballs that I haven't seen since.
Doc said something also about that Predator pinball that was kind of interesting. He said it was just a mess as far as the electronics on it. Like, it's constantly breaking down. I heard him say that. So
Real quick, Ralph,
Yeah.
my family in the chat says, do you ever go to any arcades in Columbus? I don't technically go. We have a couple of really good ones, but I am good friends with Trent Augenstein and Deborah Tallman, and they actually have one of the largest Stern dealerships around. So when they get a new Stern in, they invite me up. John Geiger is another great collector in Columbus, and Asteroids is my all-time vector game. I'm just answering questions in the chat.
There was one here that, Jeff, you might know a little bit more about this. I know it's kind of like a 2-part answer, because there's, Paul's asking, well, what happens to the pinball machines on the expo floor? And I know, the section that was, a lot of it was all Rob Burke's personal collection. So I'm assuming that just all goes back to his warehouse. But then I don't know what they do with the Stern stuff. Do they just pack that up and Jersey Jack and bring it to the next show? Or what do they do with those?
No, the Deadpool was actually George Gomez's Deadpool. Some of those games are actually already sold. Believe it or not, they're new in the box. When they get to the show floor, they're new in the box, but they're already sold. So a lot of those are sold. Todd will tell you there is a huge backlog. Pinball's so hot right now that they were sold before they even hit the floor, some of them. The Cactus Canyon, the Cactus Canyon stuff and some of the Jersey Jack stuff, I don't know. Carrie might be able to answer the Jersey Jack stuff, but I know the Cactus Canyon one was a demo only, somewhat, maybe. But the Sterns, most of them are sold. A few of them made their way to the Midwest Gaming Classic. I know Emoto's staff with Marco sent them up there. But yeah, they get sold quick.
My dogs are going crazy. What's this is a great question by Carrie Hardy. He said, what's the rarest game you each own?
Ooh. Oh,
I don't know. What would you guys say? Do you have something, Todd, in your collection you'd say is ultra rare? Maybe that baby pack.
I have, well, I think the Digger is the rarest because so far no one has one that we know that works. It's complete. My next rarest is probably the prototype baby Pac-Man. That's very tiny. And,
So Todd, tell us a little bit about that, because it's unique, right? It's almost like a sit down version or something like that.
It was made to be played in a seat, so it was lowered very low to the ground, so you'd pull a chair up to it to play it, and the artwork is completely different. So the control panel artwork is all different, and the playfield artwork is all different. And there supposedly were 5 made. They were knocked apart, flattened out, and I guess stored. They weren't going to. And a man found them, and at the 1996 Pinball Expo, I was there, and the guy had one for sale for $1,600. And I remember thinking, if nobody buys that, I'm going to buy it by the end of the show. So I wrote him a check for $1,600. We took it home. So I bought nobody wanted it. They all looked at it, but nobody wanted to give him $1,600 for it. But
Todd, did that look like it had ever been in an arcade or anything like that?
Oh, no. I think parts of the cabinet may have been remanufactured. Supposedly it was put all back together. Obviously it's a prototype because no one's seen the control panel or playfield before. The monitor bezel was a color copy, but from 96, I don't know if it was the original bezel. I took a bunch of pictures of it, detailed pictures, for the internet pinball database. Jay wanted pictures because they had suspected that it may not have been a real prototype. So
oh wow,
a boatload of pictures of the inside of the machine, and to me, it looked like a prototype. They banged this thing together and made this cabinet, but I didn't see any Bally insignias on any of the wood. So I couldn't tell for sure, and I don't know. See, I don't have enough experience with prototype, but supposedly only 4 they had enough parts to put 4 together, the harnesses and what have you. The boards are squished in there. And it's because it's half the size.
it's really cool. I've seen you've sent me. Well, we did a video on that, Todd, with Alan Reisman.
Right. We did that. And now Jay wants more pictures and details of the game. But I borrowed the video board to get a customer's game going, and it's in my basement of my house, so I haven't gotten back to it. But I just got another baby Pac-Man in.
I fixed a stack of video boards.
Yes,
for you.
we fixed a bunch of
I think
boards.
you took one
When we
home.
sold them. I think we sold a bunch of boards. Baby Pac-Man's become popular again. People want it. So I junked so many of them. My God, and we must have junked 12. And we've been selling the playfields. See, the playfield has the 2 nice Bally mechs, drop target bank you can use and other stuff. So, and nobody wanted the game. There was a time when it was just dead, and nobody fixed the video board. But there were 7,000 of them made. So
That's a lot. That's a
lot.
lot.
Of them disappeared. We had some with rotted out cabinets. So there was just a time when you just junked them. I was selling the control panels, had that wonderful joystick on it, and people were buying the control panels. We had them in the best offer sales.
I have 4. Todd, I need Todd's help on my 4. I know one of them might be rarer than the other ones. Reactor is very rare.
Uh-huh.
I have a Liberator. I think that might be the rarest of the bunch.
Yeah, they only made
Frank,
700 of them or something.
I have the Distratron sitting over here. There's not many of those left. I don't know how many was made. A Journey. There's a question on how many Journeys were actually out there. We think there's more than 1,100 Journeys or more. But
I had 2 or 3 of them, I guess.
I want to say the Liberator might be my rarest, unless the production numbers on the Reactor are low. But I can't confirm those. But
a lot of
Liberator's
were
low.
converted.
Yeah.
Sadly, they were converted to curveball, And I don't know what the hell happened to that game.
I don't
It was
either.
a kit to convert your reactor.
But I would definitely say Liberator then, because that's what 700 games total they made by Atari.
Yeah, something like that. I had a Roller Games video game in a Liberator cabinet. When the game was turned off, you could still see the burn-in on the screen. And somebody bought it from me, and they're going to convert it back to a Liberator because it actually still had the harness in it for Liberator. So they were thrilled. So they picked that game up. It was in my bargain basement, I guess about a year ago. So,
What about Frank? Do you have anything you'd consider rare in your collection?
Not
Yes.
really. Well, I have Circus Voltaire and
Yeah.
Centaur. I mean, they're not super rare, but everybody bugs me to sell my Circus Voltaire. And Mark from Canada would call every once in a while. He's like, "You want to sell it?" I said, "Yeah, 15,000." 15,000. He's like, "Why so much?" I said, "Well, I don't want to sell it, so I got to get stupid money for it. Put some in my pocket, and have money to buy another one."
You might get stupid money for that one.
But didn't he actually offer it to you at some point?
So 2 years ago, so he's like 15,000, huh? I said, "Nah, it's not a life-changing amount of money."
and Mark's my biggest customer.
Yeah,
He's
I'm like-
bought over 85 games from me. So,
Oh wow.
but it's not a dent. I've crossed over selling 30,000 machines now.
That's crazy.
We have a lot of games sold.
We got a quick super chat from Chad Dakota from Lincoln, Rhode Island. He says, "Just finished watching episode 3. Great job, Ralph. Glad you didn't Ralph on the R360. Dream Machine was the arcade that was mentioned in the video. That was the one that my mom would send me to or drop me off at, before I could drive. And that was a great arcade. It's no longer, obviously, but I loved that place. They had an arcade that they had a game that Doc had that I was a little bit bummed because it wasn't working at the time, but they had the Sega Afterburner, the motion cabinet. I love the deluxe Afterburner, but I feel like when I see them, a lot of times they're not working. The game's working, but the movement's not.
I think we just found a brand new Afterburner motor, believe it or not. We looked
Oh,
up the
really?
part number. Kurt, do you remember what happened to that Afterburner motor? I looked up the part number and I said it's an Afterburner deluxe motor, and it wasn't that big.
It was in the bag, right?
It was in the bag. We've got a bunch of brand new Sega parts in bags and everything with numbers on them, but some of the numbers were worn off. But I remember we had that after. And the motor, I kept thinking the Afterburner motors are going to be like this. It was real little.
Todd and Frank, are you looking at this question? Retro Pug is asking, do you guys know how much a Defender pinball might be worth? Scott has one literally just hiding under his other pinball machines.
Well,
So
yeah.
he's got all these great pins, and then he's got a Defender pinball machine unattached and unassembled sitting underneath his other pinball machine. So
As is unrestored 4,000, 5,000, restored maybe 8,000. It's really hard these days because that game is extremely rare. I can remember when I had 2 of them and nobody wanted it. The whole playfield's empty. It's got this big ass empty playfield and a couple of circuits. The little ships pop up on the playfield. But it's fun to play, but it never made a cent. I vended one. That didn't make a cent. Nobody liked it because there was like nothing to do on it. That's what they would say. But there's so few of them. You can get a fortune, just like Varcon, the upright, and then the Time
Really
of Fantasy has become rare.
they made 90 of those Varcons. Those are so cool.
I had 2 of them. I had 2 Varcons because I was in the distributor town.
Starlight.
And
Really
Starlight's
made 100
very rare. They
Starlight.
made 100 of them. And
at your
nobody
house?
wanted it at one point. Now, of course, everybody wants it. But that's what happens to everything. It's the
Ralph?
stuff. That's why they sold 200 Elviras for 25,000 a piece.
I love those about Elvira's are great. All 3 of them.
It's beautiful game, but it's not worth 25,000. But
Arthur OK asked me a question.
Sure.
Asked me about when did you build Barncade and did you design it for future expansions? I think Ralph can answer that question. Mason can answer the question. it's kind of done, and it's really I don't really want to add anything else to
You
it.
could
It's
add-
too
there's
much.
a whole bunch of space in there to add a whole bunch more games.
Too much to fix them. Like it's like it you know what? They're like Todd and Frank will tell you for sure, and Ralph will even tell you now he's diving into this hobby. Sometimes less is more. It can be a real struggle to keep these games going
Of course.
constantly.
Quality of
So
our community.
to me, less is more, especially the vectors. The color vectors are my trouble.
Well, I'm 100% operational right now, so if you count
And you
the
got
stuff in the
the
garage,
and you
I'm
got the
not.
Tempest running back there, so knock on wood, Ralph.
The Tempest freaks me out. Every time I turn it on, I pray that it's going to actually work. So the Tempest is like, please work.
You do have the LV2000 in there, right?
Yes,
I do.
The little that board has saved so many Tempest monitors. The Wells Garner runs great with that little board in it, and I think a guy named Hendrix, can't think of his name. He's the one that originally developed the board, and he's single-handedly saved because we've probably sold 500 or 600 vector games into the home market, and most of them are still working as far as I know.
There's a guy, Frank and Todd, you will know this guy's name. He is Matthew on Facebook. Oh, I can't, Janik. He's actually the vector guru. He is so good at fixing the Sega vectors. If anyone out there in Ralph's,
Oh, he's got the Sega or
yes,
Sega T80 connection page.
yeah, he's great at fixing vector games.
Yeah.
So
Especially
look up Matthew out there if you guys out there want to fix a vector game.
I got a question
really
in
hard
here
to
for
fix.
Mason. So Mason, I told Mason going into this, I said, I think you're really going to love pinball. And Mason had played pinball before, but I was like, but it had been a while, right?
Oh yeah, it's been.
And I told you, I was
years.
like, you're going to love it. And you did. So the question is, did you get to play any arcades or pinball, arcade games or pinball machines?
Yeah. Yes and no. I feel like. I mean, obviously, walking around, we played stuff here and there, but I was more with the camera than anything. I think overall, but we played Jurassic Park together,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then there was Godzilla. Played that a little bit, and then getting B-roll in between. There was a lot that I stopped at just to check out. But yeah, there was a few that stuck out to me, but
Yeah, but
I
you're
didn't-
forgetting what you told me. You were like very enamored with the artwork on the
yeah,
pinball
yeah. I
machines.
was getting to that actually before you said that. So basically, like, there's something about. I mean, I'm an artsy person, so seeing that's kind of the highlight. I think like arcade games look cool, but I think pinball has more to offer in the art department because you have the sides and you have inside. It's not just a game. It's like there's so many flashing lights and knobs and things happening, and it's really cool that people can really intertwine design with functionality in a machine like that. It's just really cool. So all the flashing lights, it's just really in your face, and I really like that kind of look. But yeah, I mean, I was more distracted looking at that kind of stuff than actually playing.
Well, it definitely like pinball photographs well. Like it looks
Oh, yeah.
great on video. It's like it's pretty to look at, and so I feel like I look at Kerry Hardy's videos, and when he does his videos, he's got all his pinball machines lined up in the back, and they just look awesome. I mean, even just they kind of are pieces of artwork in a way, but I kind of view I think arcade games are like artwork too. So maybe I'm weird in that way. I feel like they're artwork, but also fun to play. I don't know. Maybe
And
that's
Ralph,
weird.
Kerry, if you can bring Kerry's comment up, he just posted a comment about pinball. This is a really good statement about pinball, and if you're coming from the video hobby, moving into pinball and learning the rule set, so like you can look at Kerry's comment. I think that says a lot about the evolution of video games to pinball.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, I'll say this: when I went to go visit Barncade, I played. That was the most time I got on Baby Pack, and you kind of gave me the how to play it. And when I did my video on Baby Pack, there were so many people that made comments going, I used to play this and have no idea what I was doing. Now it's fun when I go play it because I know how to play it. So pinball is like that. There's so all these little, details to it
Little
of
rule
how to
sets
enable
and a lot of stuff to
multi-ball.
it, yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. But yeah, I can see where if you just went in front of a pinball machine and just kind of flipper mashed or whatever, you wouldn't be that fulfilled until you understood how to play, the game or the rule set for that game. So that is a great comment. Maybe video games are a little bit more self-explanatory, right? Some. Maybe not.
Also-
Sinistar is not self-explanatory in my opinion.
And they're two
but-
different communities too. They're really two different communities. Todd and Frank will tell you this. And now that you've got a taste of both, they're really two different worlds. The pinball community and the retro gaming community. The one-up community is a whole different world too, actually now. But they're really two different worlds. In some cases, they overlap, like in my case, in Todd's case, in Frank's case. In your case, kind of like once you step into pinball, Kerry Hardy doesn't overlap. He's pure pinball. But I love both. I love both the video game world and the pinball world. So I don't know where you guys fall on that on this side of the coin. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Do you have both Todd and Frank? Would you be okay answering that? Like, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite, or do you like them equally?
When I was younger, I never played pinball. That's why I played Karate Champ so much at the boardwalk down the shore and Kung Fu Master. And then I just kind of, a lot of people that make that transition end up ditching their video games and going towards the pinball. Once you get that bug, but I can't say I probably lean a little bit more towards pinball, I would say.
Okay.
Than video at this point.
I wanted to point something out. Biff is there, and Northeast Camper, John mentioned, the Alvin G and Company, Pistol Poker. They only made 200 of them. Now this is really neat because none of you guys knew this. We were having breakfast up at the Pinball Expo, and I finished breakfast, and everybody got up and gone. I don't know if you were there at the time. Was it the last day or the day before?
It was last
And
week.
everybody left.
Breakfast there.
And this guy called me over. He said, Todd. And I said, hi. And he said, don't you remember me? And I said, no. He says, I'm Alvin Gottlieb. I'm Alvin G. And I made the Pistol Poker.
Oh, no way.
I said, this guy just left and has your game. He loves his Pistol Poker. He came to the Pinball Expo. He stayed very quiet. He had his kids. And I didn't know he was there. I was shocked. But he was the man behind the Alvin G and Company, and he was at the Pinball Expo. And I don't even think he was in a seminar. He just kind of appeared. And I said, my God, I said, I didn't know you were here. And, it was really neat. But I said, boy, there were a lot of people like to meet you and talk about his games because they only made a few. Mystery Castle. They're very rare now.
Was it heavy metal?
He was the designer?
Well, he owned the company. There was a company called Alvin G and Company. Their first game was World Tour.
Oh, that's a lot.
And then they made Pistol Poker. Then they made Mystery Castle. I think that was it. And then they made the head-to-head football and soccer games. They were like a joust table, cocktail table. And you played at each end. If you only played at one end, just like the joust, the flippers worked the other side. It was really a unique idea, but it didn't catch on, and pinball was kind of dying at that point.
Though I feel like at shows more recently that joust table keeps popping up. Is that a rare thing, or I can't imagine there's that many of those, right?
It's very rare.
375, I think.
Oh, wow.
Run number is very low. We just restored one, and I've already had 2 different people, honest to God, contact me. They want me to restore their jousts, but I'm booked until next fall. I can't take anything else in here. I have people screaming at me now. I've got so many projects in the warehouse. So, but there's jousts out there for sure.
And Todd hit on something very important about going to these shows that everybody out there needs to at least go to some. Like he said to Alvin, you just saw Alvin, the maker of Pistol Poker, but you never know at the Expo or Texas Pinball Festival or Midwest Game, you never know who you're going to talk to.
Right.
One night after the seminars were over, Ralph Mason and I had an hour conversation with Jack Canary. He just sat with us and talked to us for an hour, talked about the community, talked about the business. It's just the coolest thing in pinball and video games that you get to see some of these people at the shows you have no clue who you're talking to.
So hold on a second. I got to interrupt for a second. Russman 175, lasting memories playing arcades in the Ocean City, New Jersey. That's where I played.
So
that's cool.
That's where Frank played.
Yep. That's how it's
That's cool. You know, Carrie said something that really resonates with me because, you know, I guess I'm the unfortunate one that's kind of now discovering this new world, and the prices of pinball these days are just really, really high. So we had talked a lot about this at that dinner that night. Do you guys think this is something that is here to stay, or do you think the cost on these are going to start to maybe come down a little bit to make it more reasonable for people like trying to get into the hobby?
I think what's I'm losing the old voice. I think what's going to happen is the price will stay low. It's not going to go up on games like the games, Electronimo, all the simpler stuff. Those prices will stay low. The games that have multi-ball or collectability or rareness, they will stay up. But I don't think we're going to be able to sell. I think I'm going to be selling the games for $24.99 restored. That's my lowest price game. And I don't think that's ever going to go up.
And I think there's always going to be entry-level games out there.
Yes. So we'll be able to get people involved still with cheaper games. And mechanical games, they can work really good. And you can buy a working mechanical game for $600, $700, $800. And it may work good enough for the people to have fun with it. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay. But the crazy stuff, you know, Magic Girl for $25,000 and the program's not even finished. Who would want that but a real high-end collector who really wants something for the rarity of it? Everybody here is happy with a print of a famous painting. Like, you know, if you really wanted the Mona Lisa in your house, you can get a painting. You can get a print for $8 at Walmart. You can get one with flourishes for $50. You can get an oil rendition of one for $300 or $400. But if you want the real thing, you're going to pay through the news. Well, actually, you can't buy that one, but yeah. So that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. So Stringer Films had a super chat. He said, I need Steve Ritchie to sign my Getaway. I've been to Stringer Films' house and I played his Getaway. It's really fun. That's a great game. All right, so we're getting toward the end here. I don't want to keep anyone longer than an hour, but I just want to personally say, you know, thank you to everyone here. It was first of all, Arcade Hollywood, you're kind of the one that extended the invite to Pinball Expo, and
Got us the
so I'm
hookups.
super grateful for that. And so we were able to get this great footage, and we got to hang out. Although you were a little tied up with the filming stuff, which was kind of a bummer because I would have liked to have spent a little bit more time with you. But then it was just a pleasure to meet Todd and Frank. That was just so cool for me personally, and I feel like these are all friendships that will continue on. So it's a great time. And then Mason's like my right hand man for all of this stuff, and he has to deal with my craziness and me not getting up when I'm supposed to.
We balance each other out enough.
I think Mason needs a special thank you for making a wonderful episode 3.
Thank you, Todd.
And boy, I hope it takes you places, baby.
Yeah, it was definitely excellent.
I hope you go places. You
Thank
too.
you. That's the plan.
You move right up.
We're trying.
At least have me in another episode.
Yeah, well,
Make it
hey,
happen.
that's
You know you will
If
be.
you sell your show.
Mason and I are saying, we were just talking about, I said, hey, you need to come to Arizona for like a couple days so we can plan out the next one. And we were thinking the next one probably going to be TNT, if you guys will have us. So that's something we're excited about.
I told Todd that already.
I know. I thought I heard Todd say we were coming like in a week. I'm like, wait a minute. What?
Ralph, before your show ends, I will say something that Frank said very early in this live feed is this hobby really is great about the friendships. I mean, really, that's really what it's all about when you go to these shows and you meet everybody here. It's really about the friendships, and that's what makes this hobby so great on both sides. That's my take.
Agreed.
It is, and Frank mentioned that too. When you asked what was the best part of it, I was maybe I was just in some whimsical space or something, because I felt the most excited at an event where it wouldn't traditionally be an event I wouldn't technically go. I'm very excited for the Pinball Expo, and I had the most fun I've ever had at any one of these events. And of course we went to Galloping Ghost and did all these things, but it was just a blast. And I appreciate everyone's. Yeah, it was so fun. It was all about the love. It was a really, really fun event. So Any final words from anyone before we depart?
I just want to say that with the process of filming all of this, I know this is kind of just for people watching too. This is a much different take on this episode than what we normally do, but I think we are starting to figure out a format that we want to take. It's definitely a project we're still planning in the works, kind of as we go, but we're definitely going to try to nail that down and make more because that's the fun of it.
Yeah, we love making it.
So thank you all so much for watching it and supporting it. And I can't wait for the next one. It's going to be fun.
All right, Jeff, final
Thanks.
words.
My final words is I just wanted to say thank you to Todd and Frank and Carrie Hardy and the Princess Jillian and John and the twins. You cannot forget about the twins. We had such a great time. And Ralph and Mason, I'm so glad you guys got to come to Expo, and Rob and Bridget Burke for making all that happen. That was a big deal. Post-pandemic, and it was a great time.
It was.
All right, Todd and Frank, take us home.
The one thing, there was a question that we didn't get to answer. Somebody asked, what was the most difficult games to fix pinball or video? Pinball is hard because there's so many of them that have issues, but I think one of the more difficult games was Chiller, which is a game that we did a video on it where I aced every single level on it. And it was a lot of fun, but that game was hard to fix.
The Exity one, Frank?
Yeah,
Exity Chiller?
Yeah, because the board is so
this big.
It's so poorly documented. I actually found more about how the game came to be than information on how to fix the boards. But yeah, that was probably one of the more difficult video games.
But come to our seminar.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
but check out that video.
We'll
that was a lot of fun. We made that video a couple of years ago.
Back.
Oh God, I hope it stays out.
All right.
Good night.
Todd and-
Bye, guys.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll hopefully we're gonna visit TNT next, and yeah, everyone have a good night, and thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate all the support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
night.
Take care.
Good night.